All right, today we're diving into something pretty wild. It's a plan to connect massive private crypto wealth directly with a nation's social policy. And it's a deal that could either change everything or absolutely nothing at all.
So what are we talking about here? This whole explainer is about a formal proposal from August 2025 from an individual known only as Moto. And it asks a truly radical question. The answer it gives, well, it's this tangled web of big money, good intentions, and a whole lot of political power.
So where does a plan this wild even begin? Not with a handshake, that's for sure. The whole foundation, believe it or not, is a super detailed professional contract. We're talking about managing a massive private Bitcoin fund here. So yeah, this isn't some back-of-the-napkin idea. It's got Wall Street-level seriousness baked in from the jump.
Just take a look at the terms. This isn't some quick project. It's a 5-year deal, a real commitment. And here's the kicker. Payments are based on performance. That right there tells you everything you need to know. This whole thing is built around getting real, measurable results, not just, showing up.
So what's the point of all this legal stuff? Well, it's pretty clear, right? They want to get rid of any gray areas. The idea is to build a rock-solid, legally sound structure that makes sure everything's transparent and everyone involved is protected right from the start. Okay, so a professional contract, that makes sense. But the real question is, what happens with the money? And this, my friends, is where a private financial plan just blows up into this huge national-level social experiment.
At the very heart of this plan is one number, $300,000 US. But hold on, this isn't what you think. It's not a business loan, it's not a grant from the government. Nope, it's a proposed direct payment to individual citizens in Costa Rica.
So you might be asking, who gets this money? Well, the eligibility is actually super broad. Basically, anyone making less than 300 grand a year. But what's really fascinating is what happens with any money that's left over. It doesn't just sit there. It gets funneled into social projects and even some seriously futuristic tech, like decentralized AI. See, this isn't just about cutting checks. It's being sold as a real, long-term investment in the country's future.
Now, how do you make sure all this money is handled correctly and that people can trust the process? Easy. You put every single transaction on a public blockchain. That means every cent coming in and every cent going out can be checked using smart contracts. In theory, anyway, you or I or anyone on the planet could go and verify the books for themselves.
Yeah, but there's a catch, right? A social program this huge doesn't just happen for free. There is a huge condition attached to this whole deal. And it's something we've really never seen before.
And that brings us to the part of the plan that, it changes the entire game. Because this proposal isn't just about giving away money. Oh no, it's about getting a seat at the table for Costa Rica's national elections. So first things first, the plan makes it clear that the Costa Rican government has to keep its distance from the money. The proposal literally calls their role a visor and facilitator. Think of it like an observer, not a boss. They get zero direct control over the fund. Okay, so if the government's hands are tied, who's actually in charge? Well, here's the trade-off. In exchange for all this cash, a group of international Bitcoiner holders would get the power to supervise the country's presidential elections. And I'm not kidding, the document itself calls them the Bitcoiners cartel. They'd be verifying results, watching over the process, the whole shebang.
Now, as you can imagine, the proposal is very careful about how it frames this. Let's call it a condition. The stated goals, officially, aren't about grabbing power. They're about making Costa Rican democracy better. It's all pitched as this independent, professional audit to make sure elections are transparent and to protect the integrity of the vote.
Okay, for a plan this bold, this audacious, to have any chance of being taken seriously, you need a bulletproof system for accountability. So let's look at how the proposal actually breaks down who does what. And right away, you can see a clear separation of powers. You've got Moto, the person who wrote the proposal, handling the big picture strategy. Then you have the Bitcoiners who are actually managing the money. And finally, you have a team of outside lawyers to make sure everything is legally sound. The key takeaway? No one group is in complete control.
But what about that whole election supervision thing? That's a huge deal. Well, to try and calm any nerves, the proposal demands complete transparency. All of their work would have to be documented in public reports, so any citizen, any international group could theoretically go in and check their homework.
And what if somebody gets sticky fingers with the money? Well, the consequences are no joke. Any unauthorized spending would trigger legal action, and the people responsible, they'd have to pay back every single penny, either with cash or by working it off on projects. So yeah, there are definitely teeth in these rules.
So when you step back and look at the whole thing, the picture is pretty radical. You've got this professional, high-finance contract bolted onto a massive social welfare fund, which is then tied to this completely unheard-of level of international election supervision. And you can't have one without the others. It's a single, all-or-nothing package deal.
So in the end, whether this proposal ever sees the light of day or just stays as an idea on paper, it really forces us to ask some tough questions. Questions about where private money and new technology fit in with the idea of a sovereign nation. It really pushes the boundaries of what we even think is possible.